I want to be like you, hoo hoo. I want to walk like you, talk like you, hoo hoo hoo. Anybody remember that from the Jungle Book? Yeah, I know it's got some overtones that diversity trainers like myself find somewhat problematic, but whatever, right? So I'm talking with this young man, and we go to one of my trainings, and it's very interesting because he says to me, man, I want to do what you do. I want to be like you. And I was like, oh, I was like, for real? It was like, yeah. I said, no, you don't really want to be like me. He said, yeah. I said, well, I don't know that you can be like me, especially not right now. And he said, why? He said, I can help hand out some stuff. Maybe I can take 5 minutes and speak in your thing. And I said, well, sir, I don't think you can pee straight. He was like, what? Pee straight? I said, yeah. I said, I don't think you can pee straight. He said, I'm sorry, I'm missing. What are you talking? What does speaking in front of a group have to do with my urination techniques? And I said, well, you've been around babies, and you send the babies into the bathroom, and they're learning to negotiate the toilet and whatnot, and so they get excited, they get in there, and they're trying to be a big boy, and they want to do what big boys do, and so they stand in front of the toilet, they pull their pants down, and pee goes everywhere but in the toilet. I said, sir, you don't have the character to do what I do yet. Because I'm still working on making sure I maintain the character to do what I do. And so he's still kind of in this conundrum around, what these things, how these things are related. And I simply shared with him that part of the work that needs to be done, and part of why we honor people, why we want to give them dignity and we want to give them respect, is because they have a life full of character. Character becomes the quality that actually qualifies you in situations that you might not have the qualifications for. For example, I just shared with them, I said, what if I had you go up and speak, and you were talking to some domestic violence victims or advocates, or some sexual assault folks, and they found out that you have 3 girlfriends. What does that do to the message? What does that do to their thoughts about you and the thoughts about the endeavors that you're undertaking? And so character becomes the resume that allows you to stand in front of folks. And so I ask each and every one of you, what does your character say about your resume? And so he said, well, sir, I still want to work with you, so how can I start building character? And I said, you want to work with me, then you need to go get a job at McDonald's. Again, he's confused. What does a job at McDonald's have to do with doing the kind of work that you do? And I said, very simply, that they will show you how to build character. I said, you don't start at the top. You have to wax on, wax off, right? You have to, in the words of Mr. Miyagi and Karate Kid, you got to take these mundane tasks, master them before you get to do all the extra special stuff, because that stuff is the stuff that builds character. And I some people say, well, or there's this adage that students don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, and I can get that. But I would add to that students don't care what you know until they know your character. There's a reason why, in the old days, people used to say, well, I would get in trouble with the neighbor, and, they could spank me, and so-and-so could spank me, and then I go home and I get a spanking because those people spanked me, and those were the good old days. And I would say those are the old days at best. But the thing that made them good was the fact that my mother knew that Miss Johnson down the street had character. She wasn't concerned about the men and the women and the traffic in and out of Mrs. Jones's house because she knew Mrs. Jones. And so if you want to be qualified in anything, an education is secondary to your character. Go to the University of Character. My name is Andre Koen, and I'm hoping that you learn to pee straight.